Welcome English 7 students to your first day of online learning in the hybrid model. I see that you have logged in to your Schoology course for my class. Fantastic. Now, a heads up, I've started making these videos to guide you through the process, but eventually I will only add videos if I feel like your online lesson needs a little extra. Usually they'll just be a collection of tasks or information in the Schoology folder that you can follow along and continue through to complete your online lesson. Today's learning target is to find out what you already know about poetry terminology. Our first unit is going to focus on poetry as both a writer and a reader. Looking at our upcoming due dates. These are actually assignments from last week. The audio-video discussion was Thursday's assignment, where you had to record a short greeting. You need to submit that by midnight tonight. The other assignment was the letter to myself from last Wednesday's assignment. It is also due by midnight tonight. As we bump over into the agenda, there are some similarities. You are still going to do a daily bell ringer. This is what I'm going to use to take attendance during your online lessons. There's a couple other items in your Schoology folder that you will also need to cover, like reminders about the hybrid model, and then there's a poetry terminology pretest. Now we're going to bump into Schoology just because it looks a little bit different now that we have transitioned to hybrid. So here we are in my Schoology course. I'm going to double check to see if the teacher has any updates. Looks like these were the old updates from last week. So I'm going to click on Materials. Now I will not use this Monday through Thursday Google Meet link unless we happen to go back to distance learning because of a COVID-19 outbreak. I'll still use my checklist and agenda buttons so I can see what the week looks like, although you might notice that there'll eventually be two buttons, an A checklist and a B checklist, because the two groups are on different schedules. And you will still use the Friday Google Meet link if you need to talk to the teacher between 8:30 and 10:30 on Fridays. Continuing down, we still can see week 1 and week 2, but now we see something that says English 7 Group B. And this is because of the two groups that meet during hybrid. You should only see the folder for your group. If you see both Group A and Group B, please let me know. If you do not see a folder that is white and says English 7 and your group, again, please let me know. I need to make sure you have access to this folder used during hybrid. So when I click on it, now I have access to week 3. So I'm opening up week 3, and here's the Monday folder ready to start. There's our bell ringer at the top, just like we have always started. The online bell ringers will be a simple task. Again, it's more for attendance or for me to do a quick check-in. Maybe I'll ask you how you did on a test, or if you've remembered to turn in an assignment, or maybe it'll just be a check-in to see if you are feeling successful in my classroom. Once you've done the bell ringer, you're going to click on this reminders about the hybrid model and just read through these items so that you remember how we are going to be doing lessons now that we have moved from distance learning to the hybrid model. And your final task is to take a poetry terminology pretest. This is a pretest, which means I'm trying to see what you know before we start the unit. I do not expect you to know all these terms already. You might have a couple of terms that are familiar from last year. Now, it is a completion grade only. This means that you get credit for doing your best and completing the test. It is not graded on how many you get right. Once you've completed the 3 items in this folder, you are done with English 7 for today, and I will see you in person in the building tomorrow.